AJ, man, we had the nostalgia fight, right? We had the Shogun Rua versus Ovince Saint Preux. And Ovince Saint Preux edged out a close fight against Shogun Rua. And we did see a little bit of that old Ovince Saint Preux that was low volume, wasn't really bringing the fight. He was sitting back counter-striking. Shogun was trying to blitz in, but 40-year-old Shogun doesn't really do it the same way that he used to. And it's funny because they were talking about on the broadcast how Shogun, when you talk about and think about all of his amazing knockouts and the people that he's demolished, I mean, let's just take a trip down memory lane really quickly. And if we want to look at some people that he's really put hands on, man, I mean, this dude has wins over Corey Anderson, Big Nog. He has wins over, let's see, Brandon Vera, Forrest Griffin. I mean, Lyoto Machida, Chuck Liddell, Mark Coleman, Alistair Overeem, Kevin Randleman, Alistair Overeem again, brother, Big Nog again. I mean, this dude has wins over the best of the best that there are to do it, right? He's fought the best of the best. He's fought the John Jones, the Dan Hendersons, Chael Sonnens. He already got knocked out by OSP before. We didn't really talk about that going into the preview because it was so long ago, back in 2014. But the point that we have here, AJ, is that, listen, bro, that was a long fucking time ago. We're talking about those big names. I mean, bro, we're talking about legitimately like 2006. You know what I mean? It's 2022, bro. This is just a different phase in the game. So clearly, this was a nostalgia fight, but I did cap it off by saying that I think that even though this has the makings to be exciting, this is probably going to be a boring old man fight, and that's kind of what it was. Do you have any thoughts that are different than that on this fight?
No, I mean it was you know what it was though, Derek, was the one thing that did catch me by surprise. It was somewhat of a middle ground, and when I saw OSP perform, I was predicting either we're going to see the OSP that's going in there dying on his shield, crazy reckless, big power going in, or we're going to see that reserved kind of calm OSP. We saw something a little bit in the middle, kind of back to the old days, good enough, so it was a little bit of more of an old man OSP in his what am I trying to say? Like prime performing, but a little bit older. I don't know. It was an interesting fight, a little bit snooze fest, but not really. You can't really call this one like boring, but it was a fight.
I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I nodded off for about 2 minutes during this fight. Like that's how slow paced it was for me. Because even the Randy Brown versus Chaos Williams, which we'll talk about next, even though that was a fun fight, that actually was a fun fight. It was still a little bit of a snoozer too. It was very technical. So for this fight, what do you expect? OSP, he got the win. Did he get it by submission? No, but he got it by points. What did I say? OSP by points. And what was the points prop? Plus 300. So I hope you made your money, folks, because we gift wrapped that one to you. So I will just say that. I honestly, AJ, have nothing else to say on this fight other than it was an old man fight. OSP edged out a split decision. Shogun Rua actually looked very, very surprised. And actually, AJ, really quickly, since I have a plethora of photos at my disposal right now in my arsenal, I had a photo that I wanted you to comment on really quickly. So this is going to be a picture of OSP, right? So OSP, let's make it smaller. Look at Shogun Rua. Look at what his face is while his hand is raised. OSP's hand is raised. He's kind of looking at OSP like, you did not fucking win this fight, bro. Like, I won the fight. So it's good that he has that competitor in him, but given that Shogun Rua still says he wants to have about 2 more fights on his contract before he calls it quits, doesn't really seem like that's going to happen, man. You know what I mean? You've reached the pinnacle of your career, brother. This is probably it. What do you make of the photo, and then what do you make of this whole entire scenario?
Well, I mean, on the photo one, he's looking for almost like validation. Have you ever been there with a guy where like, yeah, I won the fight, but I didn't win the fight, man. We kind of both have that mutual agreement. I think Shogun's looking for OSP to give him that look of like, yeah, I got one on you, man. But OSP, he's not, man. He ain't getting that from me. Shit, no way. And two, has Shogun Rua hit the pinnacle of his career? Unfortunately, I do think that's about this point, if not very, very close. I honestly don't even know if he has 2 fights in him, man. I hope those words go wrong and he does have the 2 fights or even plus, more fights in him. But it's rough to see unless he's done, a lot of favors for Uncle Dana in the past. I do somewhat kind of see the end, or at least, the tunnel starting to show up for Mauricio Shogun Rua, unfortunately, man, because one of the greatest fighters back in the day. But you do want to see these guys go out, with a little bit of honor, with a little bit of at least somewhat cognition in their brain still working. So, man, I hope we do see something good from Shogun coming forward. But unfortunately, I do think the best days are past him.
Yeah. I'd have to agree with you right there, brother. But OSP, he gets a big-time win on the board. I mean, let's be honest. OSP probably needed this. If he would have lost this, that would have been an even worse look because he was coming off of a 2-fight losing streak where he got knocked out both times. So 2-3 in his last 5 wins over Alonzo Metafield and Shogun Rua. So shout out to OSP.